So come join me on Nightmare Truth, where all the stories you are about to hear are true.
Story 1. During the summer of 2021, Davis Wallman returned to his home in Washington, D.C. after a brief vacation. It was getting late. He decided to call it a night, but he wasn't going to be getting any shut-eye soon. It was then he heard noises coming from the attic. Startled, he listened intently and heard movement. His mom would pop over and tidy, but surely it can't be his mom as it was so late. He jumped as he now heard noises coming from the office room. He tried the door. It was locked from the inside. He knocked on the door in a seemingly crazy moment of, "What the hell am I doing?" A woman answered.
"Are you Jimmy?"
Who the hell is Jimmy? Davis thought, and why was this woman in his house? He shouted at her, "What are you doing in my house?" Chillingly, she replied,
"This is my house. Jimmy said I should live here."
Davis dialed the police, but before they arrived, the woman had escaped through a bathroom screen and down a fire escape. She has never been caught, and it appears the woman had been living in the attic for 3 days whilst Davis Wallman lived there. Did she creep down at night and watch him? Did she have other sinister plans? Thankfully, Davis Wallman never found out, and he has since changed his locks and added more security. Who was this strange woman? Could she be living in your attic? Have you checked? Story 2. It was a cold December night, 2013 in Cleveland, Ohio, as Ayanna Davis babysat her 2 nieces, 7-year-old Glacier Ramsey and 2-year-old Peaches Kreisberg, who were now safely tucked in bed after some quality family time with Aunt Ayanna. Ayanna Davis lived in a house that had been converted into 4 apartment blocks. It was around 9:30 p.m. She was about to watch some TV when she was horrified to see an intruder had broken into her home. The invasion of fear ran through her entire body as the intruder lunged towards her. He locked her in the closet. As she frantically tried to escape, she began to smell the strong odor of smoke. Her adrenaline was pumping. She eventually broke free and ran to the next door apartment, screaming like a banshee. Emergency services were called. They arrived quickly at the scene, but it was too late. The poor little girls had died from smoke inhalation. Described as God's angels who were bubbly and could make people laugh. Nobody has ever been arrested for this horrific crime, and there doesn't appear to even be a motive as to why this sick arsonist started the fire. May the poor girls rest in peace. Story 3. A 21-year-old woman lived alone in her apartment. She was on her mobile phone talking to her boyfriend whilst collecting her mail from the mailbox. She soon entered her apartment and sat down on her bed chatting away when she suddenly accidentally dropped her phone. It slid under the bed. She got down on the floor to retrieve it. What she saw next made her heart turn ice cold. Her eyes widened with absolute fear as she gazed upon a man curled up in a fetal position with his back to her under the bed. She quickly grabbed her phone and entered the adjacent bathroom and locked the door. She climbed out of the window. She did not dare to look around in case she saw him standing there. Her heart pounding, she raced across the street and phoned the police. They quickly arrived and entered her apartment. She was shocked to see the officers walk out with a disheveled, mild-eyed man in handcuffs. They had actually caught him waiting outside the bathroom door, holding a knife. He was a homeless man with severe mental problems who had broken into the apartment. The police believe had the young lady screamed, she could have been murdered.
Have you checked under your bed?
Story 4. We've heard about intruders entering the home, but not all intruders are human. In Wood, USA, lies a major tourist attraction, the Narcissus Snake Den. They are pits which house thousands of snakes during the winter, where they mate and then return back to the marshes in the summertime. Although not all of them make it back to the marshes, where do they go, you might ask? Well, I think you know where this story is heading, don't you? Not too far from the Snake Den is the Manitoba housing complex for the over 55s. For years they've had to put up with snake invaders. They must be really hissed off. The snakes get inside the complex by traveling through water pipes, cracks in the wall. A large stream of snakes were found in the sewage pipes, heading towards the septic tank. Long-suffering residents have often found the snakes inside the air-con vents, on their radiators, kitchen units, inside their clothes, and even in their beds and under it. Some of the residents have gone for a peaceful night's sleep, no doubt after a nice cup of cocoa and Werther's Originals, only to wake up and find snakes slithering on their face. One poor lady woke up to discover she had a snake's head resting in her mouth. She will have nightmares for a long time. The problem is still ongoing. Could you stay in an apartment knowing there are hundreds of snakes waiting to join you? Maybe even slither over you while you sleep. Could you handle that?
Did you lock your door? Sleep tight.